All right, we're going to be doing a few more practice problems, lesson 6.5, and these problems are unlike denominators. So we're going to do a couple of practice problems, adding and subtracting unlike denominators. Your job right now is to make sure that you have paper and pencil out so that you can do these with me, okay? Remember, at any time during this video, you can pause, do what you need to do. Maybe it's work ahead, just so that you are working with me, trying yourself out, testing yourself, seeing if you can do this without me, okay? So the first problem we're going to do is 5/12 plus 1/4. So as I said before, get your paper and go ahead and write this problem down. 5/12 plus 1/4. All right, the first thing we see right away is that our denominators are not the same. 4 and 12 are not the same. So there's a couple of different ways we can do this, but you know from a previous YouTube lesson that I really like the stair method. So I'm going to use the stair method to find a common denominator. So I'm going to take my 4 and my 12 over here, 4 and 12, and using the stair method, I'm going to find my least common denominator. So what number will go into 4 and 12? Think about it. There's a couple of options. 2 will work, so will 4, but let's do 2. So 2 times what is 4? 2 times what is 12? 2 times what is 12? Very good. Can I do it again? Is there another number that will go into 2 and 6? They're both even numbers, so I can do 2 again. 2 will go into 2 one time. In other words, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times what is 6? 2 times 3 is 6. All right, I've gone as far as I can, so now let's look at our common denominator, our least common denominator. Remember this, we take this and we kind of make an L. That is our least common denominator. When we do that, we can multiply. We're multiplying 2 times 2 times 1 times 3. You might want to pause right now and do that. Test yourself. See if you get what I get. All right, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. This is going to be my common denominator. Now, as you can see, this is kind of nice because that means I don't have to do anything to 5/12. But I do have to fix, change, make an equivalent fraction for 1/4. All right? I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my work here. Don't erase your work. Your work is a good reminder on what you did, how you got there. So you don't erase. All right. So on your paper, here's what you'll want to do. You'll want to go ahead and work your way down the problem. So you're going to take the 1/4 right here, and you're going to say, how, multiplying by what fraction, can I get 12 as my common denominator? Remember, the stair method told me 12 is my common denominator. Think to yourself, 4 times what would give me 12? 4 times what number would give me 12? 3. Whatever you do to the bottom of the fraction, you need to also do that to the top of the fraction. So now 1 times 3 is 3, right. Right, very good. All right, so now I can rewrite my fraction. My fraction will now be 5/12 plus, these are equivalent now, I want the one with the common denominator. So plus 3/12. So essentially, what we're looking at is really the same problem. 1/4 is equivalent to 3/12. Now I can add. Remember, my denominator stays the same. 5 plus 3 is 8. Look carefully at this because we're not done. 8/12 is not in reduced form. We can reduce this. We will reduce it using the stair method. So let's do it together. Again, over here, we take 8/12. We are reducing it. What number will go into 8 and 12? We have a couple of options, 2 or 4. You can use either one. Today I'm going to go ahead and use 4. 4 times what is 8? 4 times what is 12? Can I do this again? Is there a number that will go into both of these? No, there is not. So this last fraction, the last number, 2/3, is my reduced fraction. So right here, 2/3 is my final answer. Very good. All right, we're going to do one more. We're going to do it a little bit quicker, so be ready. Remember to pause. If you didn't get this written down, pause it, go back, and write it. The next problem is going to be 3/4 minus 1/8. 3/4 minus 1/8. Step 1, as before, we need a common denominator. So take the 4 and the 8, using again the stair method. A number that goes into 4 and 8. 4 goes into both. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times what is 8? 4 times 2 is 8. All right. Now, the least common denominator is what we were trying to get. So let's go ahead and make our L, which reminds us that the L gives us that least common denominator. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Our common denominator will be 8. Again, like the one before, this one remains the same. There's nothing we need to do to that. The denominator is already 8. All right, let's work on 3/4 so that we can have it with the same denominator. And this is how we go ahead and set it up. We want our new denominator of 8. How do we get there? 4 times what number would give us 8? 4 times 2 would give us 8. Whatever we do to the bottom, that's right, we do to the top. 3 times 2 is 6. Perfect. Perfect. Let's rewrite our new problem. Using this fraction, 6/8 minus the one we didn't need to change, 1/8. 6 minus 1 is 5, and the denominator stays the same. Very good. Look at this fraction 5/8. Can it be reduced? Is there a number that will go into 5 and go into 8? the only number is 1, which means 5/8 is our final answer. Go ahead and choose a couple of more and practice on your own.